Welcome back to the Tangent Podcast, everybody. It's your boy Austin here, and I have some news. I've got some news for y'all. If you'll notice, my co host Jack is not with me today. Jack has decided to step away from the pod for a little bit. We wish him the best, and hopefully he's well. So, Jack, we wish you well. We love you. We miss you. Some exciting news. I have my friend Dan here, who is going to be taking over in Jack's place as the new official co-host of the Tangent Podcast. So I will kick it off to my best friend Dan here, and he will introduce himself, and then we'll get going with the topics for the day. So Dan, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm so good.
It's
So good.
good to be here. Good to be here. It's kind of a funny story how we even kind of got to this point, right? Like, yeah, I mean, it was only like a few weeks ago that we were like chatting again, and like, cause so I'm Daniel, and me and Austin here are like longtime friends. I've known you since like I was like 14, and now I'm
Yeah.
32, so it's been 18 years. But yeah,
That
I
is
mean, yeah, it's been a long time. We've got some funny stories, so I'm sure that we'll sprinkle some of those in here. I don't want to I don't
we'll be
know.
selective about the ones we sprinkle in there. I don't know what the statute of limitations covers, I don't know how
Exactly.
deep we can go, but you might get some Dan and Austin lore sprinkled
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah,
episodes here.
for sure. So a little bit about me. By day, I'm a data analyst for a subprime auto finance company, which is super boring. And by night, I'm a new dad. So yeah,
Woo!
yeah, I have a baby girl. Her name is Brooklyn. She was born almost like a month ago. She's super cute, and we're super excited for Halloween to dress her up in all these. We've got this flamingo costume that's just super cute.
Nice.
So we're excited
That's
for
fun.
that. But yeah, it's rough for sure. So I'm glad that we have this drink that we're gonna do later. It might help me stay a little bit awake for the rest of the podcast.
You mean you're not sleeping perfectly, and your baby's not sleeping perfectly yet at a month old?
Yeah, I know. I know. I already feel like a failed father, but what can you do?
Yeah, I don't know a parent that's well rested. So at any age, I feel like you're never 100% there. So
I know it's rough, but we love her, so it's good.
at least she's cute, right?
Oh, she is cute.
That's what you got to tell yourself when you're scraping poop off the car seat or the wall or the sheets. Like, at least she's cute.
We haven't had that luckily, but there's been a couple blowouts and they were like back to back, and I was like, how is this possible? Like, I don't understand the physics of blowouts, you know? You're like, how does it go up your back? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
But
there's some mad pressure down there, dude.
yeah, maybe that's a conspiracy. Like, there's diapers just like circumventing poo to like redirect their back, so you have to get a new diaper.
The same company that makes diapers also sells the car seats. Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
And the onesies.
Oh my gosh.
Mm,
So Austin, I actually have a question for you.
okay.
Um, where did your like interest in like all things paranormal conspiracy space, like, where I know that like growing up that you and we did a couple like haunted things, but yeah, I don't know. I'm
Um,
kind of curious.
that's actually a great question, and I don't think I've ever like discussed that on the podcast. I've told stories and stuff, but so when I was a kid, I had an uncle. He was the one that got me into Bigfoot. So he lives up in Washington and he grew up there, like was born in Oregon, lived all in Washington. But he lives like in the country, like super small backwoods logging town up in the mountains in Washington.
Okay.
And he is like super into Bigfoot. And he's into the legend that Bigfoot is Cain from the Bible.
Oh,
And so
nice.
all growing up, we would go to their house like twice a year, and he had this early morning paper out that he was doing. He and his wife like went to school later in life, so he worked this early morning paper out to put himself through school, and I would go with him. I'm talking like we'd leave at like 2 a.m. and we'd get back at like 9 a.m. And
Oh, dang.
his paper out, like where they live, towns are all like 30 minutes to an hour apart, and the towns are like, his town's probably a few thousand people maybe, like they have a Walmart, but then they're the biggest town for like an hour. And then just like his paper route went north up toward the Canada border. So it was like complete remote wilderness. And he would tell me all these crazy like Bigfoot stories and like things that he'd seen out there. So from the time I'm a little kid, I'm getting like super intrigued by all these like cryptid Bigfoot stories. And then as I got older and started getting into like scouts and going camping a lot on my own, like I got more into that too. And then it just kind of grew from there. Once I discovered podcasts, this would have been back in like 2017, 2018 that I first like started listening to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the first podcast I ever found was called Serial Killers. It was a true crime one, so that kind of got me into true crime. And then from there, I feel like it just kind of expanded to where I was like, oh, I heard this episode about like this dude, and then I go and listen to something else, like this other podcast that covered this guy, and then I hear their episode about aliens, and so I'm getting into aliens now, and it was just kind of this rabbit hole that I kept getting deeper and deeper into, and now it's grown into my own podcast and my own fascination with it. So that's
That's cool.
I'd say that's kind of how, but yeah, it stems from my my boyhood stories up in Washington of listening to my cool uncle.
Did your uncle ever say like he saw Bigfoot or like anything like that, or seen traces, or I don't
He
know?
he's had his own like crazy encounters with Bigfoot.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know. I've asked him a couple times if he would come on and share the podcast, but like with his line of work and like his like what he does for like in his community and stuff too, he said he can't do that. So
Oh,
I've asked
okay.
him if like I could like anonymously share it, and he said maybe, but I haven't like officially gotten his permission to share his stories. But
Gotcha.
they're pretty wild. Like they're
And,
pretty
and you've
compelling.
heard
And
them?
yeah, I've heard him. I know of two. Like he's told me more that I've like probably forgotten over the years, but I know of
Right,
two
yeah.
like bona fide stories that he's told me. Um, but I trust him completely. He's one of those
Mm-hmm.
guys that is just like a super trustworthy like man's man to me. Like if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's like a super credible dude. And so I definitely, and you can tell when he tells the stories too, like he's not like,
He's not like embellishing. He's just kind of
no,
like,
yeah.
this is what
And
happened, and like scared the crap out of me or whatever.
well, yeah, you can tell it affected his whole life and like his whole worldview too. And
Dang.
so I would love to, if not getting him on, I'd love to tell his stories someday. But
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
yeah, I should reach out to him again and ask him.
Dang.
Uh, Yeah,
I,
that's all.
for me, for like my fascination, I wouldn't say a fascination. It's a growing fascination, I would say, with all things paranormal and stuff. But I remember, at least for like the aliens thing, we were listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and he had, I don't remember who he had on his show about aliens, but I never listened to it. And we were on our way to like Vegas, I think, one year, me and my wife, and we were
Hmm.
listening to it on the way there. And he was like talking to this guy about his whatever alien thing that it was. And it seemed like so incredibly like real, kind of like how you're saying, like your uncle's like, just kind of like affected him, and was, it seemed like so real, and he doesn't have like any motive to like embellish the truth.
Hmm.
And like listening to this guy talk about it, I was like, holy crap, like this guy really believes it. Like maybe there is like something else out there. So
Was that the one? Was it Bob Lazar? Was that the one where he talks about like working at the place where they had the crafts and stuff?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember the
that's
name, but it was crazy. I was like, holy crap.
if it's the same one, that's like one of my favorite pod. I go back and listen to that like once a year usually to just like listen to the story again. And the impressive thing with that too is like that dude had everything to lose from like coming out because he got let
Mm-hmm.
go. Like they scrubbed all his records. Like they've tried to like demonize him, and like he's still kept his story the same too for like 40, is it going on 50 years now probably. Um
Yeah.
and that to me is pretty compelling that like he's never strayed from the story or anything like that. But yeah, that's a crazy one.
Yeah, that one was like, holy crap. And the way that he was just talking about things and describing things, it was almost like it was a matter of fact type of thing. It wasn't like he's trying to sell anything. He's just like, yeah, this is kind of what it was. It's like, holy cow. So
Mm-hmm.
ever since hearing that, I've been like more like, I don't know, believing, I guess you would say. Like if you had to like rate me on a scale of like tinfoil hat and like normal guy, like I feel like I'm teetering more so now to tinfoil. I mean, I'm not gonna like do something crazy, but I'm like, okay, you know, there's there's more to the world that's like not explainable, you know. So
Yeah. Well, like I think it's so ignorant of us to just assume like, yeah, nothing else is out there. None of this crazy stuff is real. These cultures that have had like Bigfoot type stories for all of human history, like they're all wrong. They're all crazy. Like, no, like I feel like there's a little bit more to it. And who am I to say that nothing else is out there? That's like where I started to really kind of believe was one time I just had this thought of like, who am I to say? We don't even know what's out there in the universe. We see such a small speck. And even on the planet too, like there's so much of the ocean we haven't discovered. Who knows what's down
yeah, I
there
know.
that's weird. Like, so I feel like it's ignorant of me to say that yeah, there's nothing else out there. And so I like I like to entertain crazy stuff because it's fun
Same.
and just explore it because it's fun. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Good question. I don't think I've ever like said that on the podcast, so that was great.
Yeah, I was just curious. I'm like, huh, I kind of wonder where, you know, where it came from.
Should we dive into this drink? Because I'm actually excited
Yeah.
about this one.
Let's do
All
it.
right. I'm gonna read the little thing on the side. All right, so today we've got Monster Juice Bad Apple flavor. And it says, tempted to try? We hope so. Juice Monster Bad Apple isn't like anything you've ever had before. Forget your regular apple juice. Bad Apple's enticing taste is completely one of a kind. Take a bite. It's got a crisp, dry apple flavor that's not too sweet and goes down smooth. Sinfully great taste, that's a good word. Sinfully great taste and packed with a full load of our legendary Monster Energy blend. Unleash the beast. All
I feel
right,
like at
so
the end you should have got you done like a scream or something, like unleash the beast, rah, or something like that.
all right, I'm cracking this bad boy open. I'm excited to smell this one.
Dude, I started laughing when you started reading it because, like, if you can't see the picture of the can, it's just this sultry woman who you're not entirely sure if she has clothes. It looks like she does, maybe on like a shoulder. Oh no, that's just her hair.
Her hair is lightly tousled over the shoulders and
Yeah, and then she's just holding an apple with an M on it. So, like, I was just
staring
like,
into your soul.
I was just like imagining you as that woman. I was like, oh, Austin. All right.
Here's some lore for you guys. It's really weird to hear Dan call me Austin because my whole life my nickname was Kippy, and so it's like almost foreign. Every time you say Austin, I'm like, oh, like I don't mind it, but it's just
Oh, can I just
I don't
call you
think I've
Kippy
ever.
then?
Yeah, you can call
Since
me Kippy. Yeah,
since
I can
oh,
tell you're
thank
trying
goodness.
really
That
hard. Like
that one time was enough for me to be like, okay, I gotta call you Kippy.
it's like it's making me not cringe every time, but it like catches my attention every time. Like that doesn't sound right in your
I
voice.
know.
It's just
Yeah, it's like
it's
if you
not
called
right.
me Daniel, I'd be like, no, dude, you called me Dan. Like my
Well, so
friends call me Dan.
the other day I was telling Kaylee about that. I was like, it was right after I left your house, and I was like, I called her. I was like, I think I should probably start calling him Daniel because I think that's what his wife calls him. And then I got home that night, and I told her again. I was like, I should probably call him Dan. And my daughter was like, No, Dad, you've called him Dan your whole life. You can't. She's 7. She's like, Dad, you just can't. You have to call him Dan. You've called him that your whole life. You can't
Oh.
call him Daniel. I was like, okay, you're right.
Your daughter's so cute, by the way. When you guys stop by, oh my gosh,
Yeah, she's so fun.
she's adorable. All right, how is it? I haven't tasted it yet. I
I
smelt
haven't
it
either.
though.
I smelt it. It smells like fall.
You know what I'm hoping it tastes like? I hope it tastes like just like a really good apple beer, you know?
Oh, dude, apple beer is like top 3 drink for me.
Oh shiz, this is good. Oh,
Oh,
it's exactly what I
that's
wanted
gonna
it
be a
to be.
problem, dude. That is so good.
Where did you find yours, by the way?
I just found it at Maverick.
Oh, at
Um,
Maverick?
Yeah, they've only had it within the past like this week.
I went to Walmart and I'm like looking where the monsters normally are, and I'm like, I don't see these anywhere. So I had to look it up on the app, and it was like on aisle K6. I'm like, where the freak is aisle K? Because like all
Is
the
that like
food
where they have all the
aisles are
box
aisle
drinks?
A. So you know where I found this thing? It was in the gaming section in like a monster like stand thing. It wasn't refrigerated, so luckily I got home, was able to refrigerate it. I was like, why the freak? I'm glad I walked over there because I'm like walking around. I'm like, okay, aisle J is like paper towels and stuff. And I'm like, okay, where the freak could aisle K be? So
That's really funny.
I'm glad
Right
I
in the
found
game,
it.
they know their
This,
target market.
yeah, this is actually pretty good.
This is one of the best drinks we have had on the podcast so far.
Oh, really?
hmm I'm
Oh
giving
my
it out of
gosh.
10. I'm giving it a 9. I think this is
Oh,
delicious.
I I would give it a 10 if it was slightly more carbonated, but I know this is like the juice one, so it's like not as carbonated, but it's
I th-
oh man. I was it just hit my expectation and like then some. Oh my gosh.
you're
It
right.
was
It does
good.
taste like a lot like apple beer. Not as much as of like the bitter bite at the end as an apple beer, but it
Oh
has
yeah.
all the like it's like smoother. I do wish it had a little bit more carbonation. I'm the same. If it was like perfectly carbonated, it'd be a 10. But then
Oh
it would just
man.
be an apple beer too. So,
You know what? You're not wrong. It would just be apple beer, but
oh man, that is
with the Monster
delicious.
Energy blend, the full load
You
of the
can't unleash
legendary Monster Energy blend.
you can't unleash the beast with an apple beer. Yeah.
Oh man.
Can't go
No, that's
punch a hole
good.
in the drywall with an apple beer, you know? Yeah,
Oh
that's
man.
tasty. Yeah, that is high ranked. Highly recommend again, Monster Bad Apple.
Oh, that's
All
good.
right, let's move into some space news for the day.
Let's
I
hear
thought
it.
this was interesting. I found this article on space.com that there is a giant weak spot in the Earth's magnetic field that is getting
Is it
bigger.
behind the knees? I'm just kidding. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's actually right behind the right at the back of the heel, you know, the
Sorry.
Achilles.
Go ahead.
And it's kind of down near like Africa, South Africa area. And there's apparently something that's happening in that area of the world that is causing the magnetic field around that part of the world to weaken. And it's could potentially be a problem because I'm sorry, I have hiccups. Could potentially be a problem because the magnetic field of the Earth helps block like charged particles from the sun, and all of those particles can hit and affect like satellites and the ISS with some different types of radiation.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so this could potentially have negative effects on satellites and ISS or anything else that we throw up into space. So it could be a big deal in the future, but I don't know how long this has been going on for. They don't really. It says like the weak region has doubled in size in like the last 10 years. So the area of this magnetic field weak spot is like half the size of Europe.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's large, it's significant,
Yeah.
and it's been growing within the past 10 years. So I don't know what they're doing down in Africa, but
And there's no like theories on like what is causing it.
no, they just said it's kind of an anomaly. They don't know something's there was a quote and it just said something special is happening in that part of the world. So I don't know
Something
what
special.
special things are happening down in Africa.
Do
I
they
don't
just
think
have
they're
like
launching a ton of satellites down there,
do they just have
but
like a lot of like cattle and stuff that are just
mm,
releasing so much methane that's just punching a hole into the atmosphere or something?
maybe, yeah.
Farting cows. It's got to be
Always
it.
the farting cows. Yep.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's weird.
that's the space news. So if you're thinking of launching a satellite in Africa, probably don't. Um,
I'll put
could
my plans off then.
You're like, but it's so cheap to launch down there.
I'm sure Mr. Beast is doing one.
Dude, that
$1
guy does
satellite versus a billion thousand trillion dollar satellite.
build the best satellite and you win of $10,000. Yeah, something. I don't know. His channel's nuts. It's so entertaining, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, pick me. I want to go be on one of your freaking Beast games or something.
Oh man, I would fail. I
I
no,
would
thank
too.
you.
I
I
remember
don't need
being a
that kind of
kid.
attention.
I don't need to bring shame upon myself in front of the whole world. You're probably right. I remember as a kid being like, these people on Wipeout suck. I could go like kill it on Wipeout. And then now that I'm 30 and I like trip up the stairs and throw my back out, I'm like, it was probably good that I didn't do that, you know?
You're like, you sneeze funny once, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, my back. Have you ever
Dude,
had that?
seriously, sneezes for me are always hurt my back. Like a
Oh,
bad sneeze can ruin like a couple days stretch for me. Like it's not good.
you know those memes like you wake up on the wrong side of the pillow and you're just like, "Ugh,
Mhm.
help me."
Like dude, here's the thing. When we sleep, we don't do anything and I still find a way to do that wrong.
Oh man, I wish. What is sleep anyway?
Yeah, that's a whole other episode. Where do we go when we fall asleep? What realm
Oh,
do we travel to?
that's
That's
a
actually
great Billie Eilish song, or
mhm.
it's part of a song.
But that'd be a fun one to dive into someday, like the sleep
Oh,
realm. We've talked about
oh,
dreams before, and like uh, the dream one. There's this crazy story. We had a guest on one of my other podcasts one time who dreamt of the same guy multiple times, and his name was Jack. But he would always dream of this guy when he had like a he was trying to do something. So like the first dream he ever had was when he was like in high school and he was trying to land this skateboard trick, and then Jack came to him in his dream and told him like, oh, just do this one thing differently with your foot and then you'll land the trick. And he's like, I woke up the next morning and went and tried it, instantly landed the trick. And
no
then he was
way.
like, and like another time I needed help on a math test, like studying for this math test. And so Jack like came to me in my dream and taught me like some different things of how to do better on this math test and help me with my math or like things like that. But he's like, I'd had a bunch of dreams with this guy named Jack who taught me stuff. I'm like, that is so weird. And so then he went on this website that was called like I think it's called Have You Dreamed This Man or something. And he's like, Jack looks
What?
pretty similar to that guy, but a bunch of people in the world are having dreams with this similar dude. Um,
Whoa.
have you dreamed this man? Yeah. Have uh this is I'll throw his picture up in the chat for you. He's kind of weird looking,
I don't know.
but
I'm
a
kind of
bunch
afraid to look that up.
um here, I'll throw it in the chat. There we go. That's
Yikes.
Jack. But he's like, "Yep."
Unibrow Jack. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he knows
So
skateboard tricks and math.
that's all you need, right? It makes for a good life. But yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. So that'd be a fun one to do.
When you talked about one of your other ones, remote viewing or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard of that. So I feel like now that I'm gonna be a part of this, like just learning about all the different crazy things that people have had experiences with, it's gonna be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you say Kylie was trying to remote view my hat or something? That was the thing.
Yeah, I think we listened to it together, and she's like, "Okay, it's a blue with a B on it or something like that." I don't know.
Wow, I can't
It's
believe
really
how wrong
funny.
she is right now.
Poor
She is
Kylie.
so freaking wrong. Not even funny.
She's recovering from her C-section, and you're just dishing on her.
She should get good, I guess. At remote viewing. It's
No,
not my fault.
Kylie, no.
No one's safe in this podcast, okay?
No one.
All right. Well, should we get into the topic for the day?
Yeah, let's do it. Are you
Today
going
we
first or am
um
I going? I can't remember.
uh I'll have you go first, but
Okay.
uh we are kicking it off with American urban legends. We are continuing down the alphabetical list of states, and we have come to the fine state of Louisiana, which I've been excited about this one because I feel like it's it's like one of the craziest states. I feel like everyone that you see in like memes and pop culture that's just like super weird, crazy redneck gator hunters. They all come from Louisiana. Like
Oh,
um so I'm stoked, like all the Cajun culture. It's officially known as the Bayou or the Pelican State, but the other names are Bayou State and Creole State. So,
the
Dan,
Pelican State. Okay.
why don't you kick it off with our first urban legend from the fine state of Louisiana?
Is that why it's the New Orleans Pelicans? Now it makes
Oh,
sense.
probably. Yeah, I always wondered that.
I mean, the Utah Jazz, we stole that from them, but the Pelicans. All right. So, my first one here is about this lady named Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen. So, this lady, she was born in 1801, around 1801, and she was a free woman of color. So, that's kind of crazy in of itself around that time, you know. Lots of slavery going down in Louisiana. But yeah, so her story is about she was a hairdresser, and she was a hairdresser for like the wealthy white elite. And in their homes, she would listen to them gossiping, and she ended up getting access to like this vast network of personal secrets, and she ended up using this to her advantage. So she's got all these ladies chatting about whatever, and she's using these secrets to like for her personal gain. So she ended up getting like all these informants among the house servants. So she knew about like marital disputes, financial troubles, and legal proceedings. So that's kind of where like she got like some of her notoriety. Like she knew a lot of stuff that was happening because of her job as this hairdresser.
Hmm.
So she then ends up combining her African voodoo heritage with her Catholic faith, which made it like more accessible and less threatening to the Creole elite. And she had like all these different rituals with drums, dances, and spirit possession in public places like Congo Square. And that apparently cemented her status as like the voodoo queen with these drums and dances and stuff. By the way, about spirit possession, I have a short story. Not it hasn't happened to me, but um, I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I was in Brazil, and there were a lot of like different religions there, and one of the religions they kind of like they were into like this spirit possession stuff. They would leave like I don't know if you saw this when you were in like Panama, but they would leave like these sacrifices out like in the street of like
That's
dead
weird.
roosters or like chickens, and they
Nope.
would leave it. Yeah, yeah, they would leave it in like a bed of like cooked popcorn,
What the heck?
and they would like have like candles in there, and then sometimes they would like write names of stuff on the candles.
Oh.
It was pretty creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Here I am, some white honky from Utah, walking around in Brazil, and I'm just like, why the freak? Why is all this chicken doing on the road? Anyways, and they would like ring bells for like it was like an offering, like something to come and eat it. But yeah, this religion they believed in this spirit like possession, and they would like get super intoxicated and invite spirits to possess their bodies. And they would like during these rituals there were a lot of like drums and stuff playing, and so we were living in this one apartment and we could hear like tons of drums going off at night, and we were pretty freaked out
Oh.
because we kind of knew that like that's what was kind of going on. And one of them was like a couple houses down from us, and so we're like, oh gosh, like this is kind of creepy, you know, like I'm thousands of miles away from home and these people are like inviting spirits to possess their bodies. So yeah. Anyways,
That's
yeah, that
crazy.
yeah, it's I sometimes like I think it would be cool to have some kind of like weird encounter, but other times I'm like, F no, like I do not want any part of like evil spirits or any of that stuff. So
Yeah, well, I
oh,
think if you go looking for it, you'll find it for sure. That's what I've learned. So,
yeah.
if you ever
So
want want to. I mean, you can, but yeah, I don't know.
So so anyway, so she would do these rituals and stuff, and then she would like sell these. People would come to her for counsels about like life, from like love to luck to like escaping being executed at the gallows. So she would sell these like charms with like herbs, bones, and other symbolic items. And she would like tell these prophecies that were a lot of the times based off of the information that she knew about people. So I think it's kind of funny that she was using all this like gossip and stuff she knew that was going on in other people's lives, like do prophecies and that kind of stuff. So in after her death in 1881, she was buried in the St. Louis Cemetery, number 1. I guess there might be more than one. So the legend says that to gain her favor, visitors must draw 3 X marks on her tomb, to gain, favor from her. It says here, though, cemetery officials discourage this to protect the historic structure. So it was part of her like humanitarian work. She nursed people during like epidemics, and her perceived magical power kind of made her into this legend in Louisiana. So kind of cool
It's
though.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Not super scary per se, but definitely like I'm
Creepy.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for the Voodoo Queen.
All right. That's a good one. Ritualistic stuff creeps me out. Like, I didn't see a ton of that in Panama, but I did see they did some witchcraft and stuff. And so
Oh yeah.
we I was in one area where witchcraft was particularly like popular, and I didn't know it. I was pretty new to the area, and so I hit 6 months and the companion I was with hit 18 months at the same day. And so I was burning, was it my pants or a shirt? No, I was burning a tie, and then he was burning like a shirt or whatever it was at that time. And so we went out in our backyard at night and burned them. And then the next day we got a call from our mission president, and he's like, you guys doing witchcraft there?" And we were like, "No." He's like, we got reports that you were. Some people like called and said the missionaries were doing witchcraft, and we're like, "Oh, sorry, we were just burning shirts outside." He's like, "You can't do that. There's too many like legit witches out there, and people are freaked out."
Oh dang. That's pretty
But
funny. Did you
yeah, there was
did you see any people like burning stuff like you guys were, or you just kind of
I
heard
never
about it?
did, but I also knew like where not to go in that area. We kind of
Oh,
knew
okay.
the spots. There was one area though, the scariest thing that ever happened to us was my last area. I was on this indigenous island, and they had like, it was a tiny island, but there's like somewhere between 3 and 4,000 people like crammed on this island, and probably 3,000. And so they were super native, so they had their own native religion and stuff, which like really aligned with the church's teachings actually, and like how Jesus came to the Americas and stuff. So that was really cool. But
Hmm.
they had these practices. So right before I got there, they had a stint of demon possessions. And so I
Oh
remember
gosh.
I was a secretary in the mission office, and so I had a friend that was out on that island, and he would call to order supplies all the time, and like missionary supplies. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time he sounded like really nervous, and he was trying to get a hold of the mission president. And in the background, I just hear like blood curdling, screaming, bloody murder. And
Oh
I
my
was like, dude,
gosh.
what is happening? And he's like, we like legitimately are going out and like casting out demons for the past like 2 weeks. Every day we go out and we cast out demons for like a few hours a day,
Oh
because
my gosh.
people are doing all this crazy stuff and they keep getting possessed.
Oh no.
And then he said like, we've been trying to do it and sometimes like it doesn't work, so they were trying to get a hold of the mission president to like find out how to do it correctly and stuff. But
Oh.
it sent shivers up my spine of just like, oh, that sound. I can still like remember hearing the sound of the screams. But when I was there, they have these dolls that they make out of wood. It's like a little figurine, and they put the figurine in their house, and it's meant to trap bad spirits and bad energy like that come into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like the protector of the house, but then those will fill up. And so when they fill up, I I don't remember what happens. I think there's a way they can tell. I don't know if the thing falls over or like what happens to it when it's full, but there's some way they can tell when it's full and they have to make a new one. And
Oh
so
my
then
gosh.
they take it, the island is connected to the mainland by a small like walking bridge. And so
Mm-hmm.
uh they would take it across the bridge to the mainland, and then they just had this giant pile of like dead, full dolls over there that had all these negative spirits in them. And so one day we're walking past there, coming home from a service project, and my companion was like, "Dude, I want to take one of those home." And I was like, "You better
Oh
not. Like,
no.
you better not." I'm like,
Oh
and he's
no.
like, "No, like nothing bad's gonna happen. Like it's all hogwash. Like we'll take one home." So he brings one into the house, and it was in there for like 2 days maybe. And I just remember at nighttime, like the whole time that thing was in there, I felt like something was watching us. It was just like
Oh
the eeriest
no.
feeling, but and I didn't feel it like I'd feel it in the daytime. Like if I looked at it, I'd get like this little bit of an eerie feeling. But at nighttime, when we'd go to bed, I remember that it would go completely dark and I couldn't see anything. Like, because usually at nighttime you can see like a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it would just go completely pitch black to where I couldn't see anything for and that happened for 2 nights in a row. And so the next morning I woke up and I was like, we're getting rid of it. And so we took it back and we threw it in the graveyard again, and it didn't happen again after that. But
Oh
I was
my.
like, that's got some bad juju in it. It's not good.
Where was it in in the house?
It was just like on a little shelf that we had.
I can just well, what was it shaped? What was it shaped like? It was shaped like a doll
Um
kind of thing. Like
yeah,
there's like
so
head, arms, and legs kind of
oh
thing.
I'll see if I can find a picture of it. So I actually had one when I came home. I had them. I knew the guy that like he was the one that carved them. He was like the chief on the island, and so he was the one that carved them and then would like imbue them with the spiritual power to like protect the house. And
Oh.
so I asked him, I was like, these are really cool. Well, he was like, do you want one to take home? And I was like, no, I can't. And he's like, I can just carve you one, but I won't like bless it or do anything like that. I'll just carve you like a wooden sculpture. And then he just gave me one, but he painted it too. So he painted it to look like me. So he drew like a tie and a white shirt and a black plaque on it and blonde hair.
Oh,
And then so
nice.
I brought one home, but I was like, "Are you sure this isn't blessed? Like I don't want to take anything home." And he's like, "No, I just carved it for you." But this is
Oh.
what they look like. I'll send this in the chat. And I'll post a picture on the show notes as well so you guys can see it. But
So
that's
they
kind of what
looked
they
like
look like.
that.
Yeah, they look like that.
Oh,
Most of the time
okay.
they wouldn't paint them. They would just kind of have like a
Just be like what
blank,
like
yeah,
yeah,
just a
okay.
wooden doll. They do have some um
Is that just a picture of one or the one that you had?
no, that's just a picture of one. But
Okay.
the hat that he's wearing, that's like the traditional hat that the men on the island wear, especially like the chiefs will wear it. But that's like really similar to their style of hat that they wear. So kind of
So that one
interesting.
looked kind of close to like what the creepy imbued one looked like, or was it like
Yeah, that was
straight?
like the same as what one of the imbued ones would be. And like the thing was when I would walk into somebody's house and they like every single house had one in it.
Oh,
When I
really?
would walk
Oh,
into somebody's house and I'd see it, like I wouldn't get that vibe. But I don't know if it was something with like the dead one that we picked up that had that
the one that
like
was full of
yeah, the
demons,
one that was completely full of demons. Like
just stuffed
it
to
was
the
so
brim.
strange. And then yeah,
Oh
my
my
vision would
gosh.
like when I would lay in my bed, my vision would just go completely black. Like I
Ugh.
couldn't see a thing.
I'm getting the willies
And
thinking about it. Ugh.
it was pretty weird. Um Okay, well, let's move on. So, this topic that I'm going to cover is perhaps the best known cryptid from the state of Louisiana, uh, called the Rougarou. And I want to, how do you say it? They're like very French
I
down
should
there, so
ask
I feel like I have to
Josh.
ask your
Ask
brother.
my
Yeah.
brother. I know. I thought about that. I was like, oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. I just think French people sound so like I feel like French people all think they're better than everybody else just by the way they talk. They sound so pretentious.
They do. Not that I've
Um,
met one, but
okay, so Rougarou is the name by which the werewolf type creature in Louisiana is known. And also in certain like actual native French communities or like Canadian French communities, they have a similar legend. In France and like Canada, it's known as the loup-garou, Loup, garou. So loup means wolf, and then garou is a word that means like a man that changes into an animal. So
oh, interesting.
kind of like a wolf shapeshifter dude. So it's really similar to like a skinwalker or a wendigo type creature,
Okay.
but specific to the Cajun culture of Louisiana. And so the people that originally started this legend or started telling it were the French settlers that came down from Acadia, which was up near like Maine and into Canada, that part of the North American continent. They ended up coming down and settling in Louisiana and brought kind of that Cajun culture with them. And the Cajun culture is interesting because it mixes like a little bit of African American, it mixes the Hispanic kind of from like Cuba, and then it mixes the French as well. So it's kind of a melting pot of different cultures, but this legend specifically comes from like the French part of the cultures.
Gotcha.
So the Rougarou, it's a giant being like 7 feet tall, and it walks on two legs, and so it kind of has like a bipedal, like humanoid shape, but with a hairy body, strong arms and legs, and then the head of a wolf. So kind of body of a man, head of a wolf. And it roams the bayous and the fields at night looking for prey, all that creepy stuff. But so there's a bunch of different types of Rougarou. Um, so there's like some variations to the legend. The one variation in Louisiana is that the Rougarou is used as a warning story in the Catholic Church, which I think this one's more funny to me than anything else because it seems like the Catholic Church is just trying to scare the kids into submission and obeying the commandments. But so Lent, which I don't know much about Lent. I know it's like I think it's the 40-day period where Jesus fasted. Is that Lent?
I don't
Um,
know.
so Lent is not lentils. Lent.
That's what
Um,
comes to mind. I'm like, oh, lentils. I don't really like that.
I like lentils. I ate them a ton in Panama. But lentils is the 40-day. It like celebrates the 40-day fasting period. So next year in 2026, February 18th to April 2nd. So it ends right before Easter. So during Lent, I believe they obey specific like dietary restrictions, and they have things that they do. I don't know enough to like talk about it, but I know it's like a period of religious observance in the Catholic Church. So the legend with the Rougarou tied into Lent is that if you don't follow Lent or you like break your fast during Lent or you disobey the church, you risk turning into a Rougarou.
Oh, wow.
And then alternatively, like an evil person or like a witch or something might curse somebody to turn into a Rougarou. But the curse only lasts for 101 days, which after those 101 days, the person becomes a human again. But then if they tell anyone about it, then that curse will again infect the human and pass on to whoever they told. So
Wow.
it was kept pretty tight knit in the Catholic communities where the legend initially spread, but then over time it just started to get out. Then you have the more popular versions outside of the Catholic Church, which are the Swamp Monster version, which I feel like this is kind of the quintessential Louisiana one, where the Rougarous roam in the bayous and not necessarily seen as a curse, but more of a native cryptid creature, similar to like a Bigfoot or a Mothman type creature, and that it
Okay.
stalks the travelers that are going through the swamp. The other thing I like about this part of the legend is it can mimic people. So similar to a skinwalker or a wendigo that can mimic somebody that you know, or like mimic like a crying baby in the woods, that needs help to lure you in, something like that. And it's really fast, so it can chase people down. And then it will specifically hunt people that don't take care of the bayou or that like litter and harm nature. And so it's said to be kind of like a supernatural guardian of the
Oh,
land down
interesting.
there. So I'm actually on board with that because people that litter and trash the woods, like I don't really stand for that, and I hate when people do that. So you know what, Root Group, go nuts.
I've got a
That's one
few
I can
people
get
the
on board
Rougarou
with.
could take care of.
Yep, yep. And then the other version of the legend is that he's a vampiric beast, so he
Oh,
on the blood of animals and humans. And it doesn't always kill its victims, but instead it passes the curse on to the victims, and so he can spread his Rougarou plague across generations of people. So
interesting.
there are, if you're nervous, if you're sitting in the middle of the bayou right now at night listening to this, and you think, perhaps is there a Rougarou close to me? Here's what you can do to protect yourself.
Perhaps.
um, um, grab some small objects, perhaps some coins or some beans, specifically 13 of them,
Oh.
and you scatter them outside your door or wherever you are because apparently the Rougarou can't count past 12. So it will
Oh
sit there
my
trying to
gosh.
count 13, but then the sun will come up and he will have to go hide. So uh,
Oh.
just keep 13 beans on you at all time if you live down in Louisiana, or some coins or something. Just carry a little coin purse around and drop them wherever you go in, and you'll be fine.
Oh man. That's
Uh,
so funny.
it is really funny. Like this crazy, powerful, mythical beast, but his one kryptonite is the number 12. I can't get past 12.
uh, that's so weird. I wonder
Yeah,
if that was started by like the local bean salesman. He's like, you know what? I can make an extra buck or two. He like sells packs of 13 beans.
but the dude's like, I only need 10 for dinner tonight. Nope, sorry, man. Ruger's gonna kill you. You gotta buy 12.
Yeah, haven't you heard the Rougarou can't count past 12?
That's so funny. Yeah. I
Oh
I always
wow.
wonder how these like legends start. Like what made 13 small object, like what was the significance of that? Okay,
Yeah.
so the other ways to protect yourself are you stay inside during Lent. So just for 40 days, just camp out in your house, especially at night. And then also avoid breaking any promises or commandments during Lent. So no promiscuity, no lying, no stealing. You'll be just fine. Just be a good person. You won't become a Rougarou.
Oh wow,
Um,
there must be a lot of God-fearing people in Louisiana then. If
I
there's
guess
n-
so.
not a huge outbreak of Rougarous.
Yeah, or they just carry small beans with them all the time. I don't
Oh,
know.
you're right.
Um,
The bean
that's
defense.
where the beads for Mardi Gras came from. They just put them on a chain and then drop them out the front door.
Oh, there you go. That's where it came from. Oh, look at that. You made a
Actually, wonder if that
connection.
ties in somehow. I'm gonna
Oh my
choose to
gosh.
believe it.
If you look that up right now, it's like the legend says from the Rougarou, will be like, oh my gosh, no way.
Let's see. Justice, faith, and power. Yeah, that's dumb. Okay. Um, I
Dumb.
I choose to believe it's for the Rougarou protection.
Me
Um,
too.
if we ever go to Mardi Gras, I'm taking a bunch of beads and I'm just gonna be like, not today, Rougarou, and I'm gonna throw them at people. So plus Rougarou is just fun to say.
It kind
Also
of
this
is.
this next protection reminds me of my friend Tyler. So it says you can draw a protective symbol like a cross on your door, or you can carry a rosary or holy water. So my friend Tyler, who is not religious at all, one day I go over to his house. You know Tyler,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's not religious at all. But I go into his house one day. I just like walked in, and he was home by himself, and I hear him like chanting in this bedroom,
What?
and I'm like, what? So I like walk back. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he had this little vial with a picture of the Virgin Mary on it, and he'd filled it with water. And he's like, dude, I'm trying to make holy water for when we go on adventures, like to graveyards and stuff. And I was like, what? And he's like, like you're religious, you have the priesthood power. Like, can you make holy water for me? I'm like, that's not really how it works, but go nuts, dude. So he would bring that holy water with him everywhere we went. And as
Oh
like
my gosh.
I have this vivid memory of him. We were like running away from this house where something creepy happened, and he just pulled out his bottle and he's like spraying it over both shoulders as he's running away, just like, get out of here, ghosts.
Oh my gosh, dude. I feel like
So
I have a faint memory of you talking about this. I'm like, oh my gosh, that kid is crazy. That's so
yeah,
funny though.
he was crazy. Another time I walked into his house and he was trying to make these energy balls to like cast out demons. So he found this YouTube video where you like move your hands in a certain way and it like channels energy, and then you can like push that energy and like cast away bad energy. And he's like, "Do you know how to do this? You're a man of God." I was like, "No, no,
I must
I
have
don't."
skipped that class on defense against the dark arts or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, if you ever are in the swamps of Louisiana, carry some beans or holy water with you, or just don't be a d-bag and live a good life, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, no fornication and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
So that is the Rougarou for you.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. Mine's called oh my gosh. I should have looked up how to say these because they're like French ones. The faux follet or the willow wisp. How did that sound? Was that convincing?
How do you spell it?
FEU and then another word FOLLET. I don't want to say like a total whitey. Faux follet.
Le Fairfilet. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, I feel like you're gagging when you say that. Like you have to like be gagging.
I'm gagging because it's French and it's gross.
So the faux the faux fillet, it's French for foolish fire, is Louisiana's version of the will-o-wisp, which I don't know. I've never heard of the will-o-wisp. But it's a glowing, flickering light phenomenon seen across the bayous and marshlands at night. So the legend is in Cajun and Creole folklore that the faux fillet is a malevolent spirit, often believed to be the soul of a wicked person, a miser, or an unbaptized child who's trapped in limbo. So these lights dance and hover just over the water or swamp, appearing to travelers. The legend warns that if a person follows the faux fillet, the light will lead them deeper into the dense swamp, causing them to become hopelessly lost, drown in the muck, or be killed. And so I don't know, when I first read this, I was thinking of, you know, that scene in Lord of the Rings with Gollum and going through the marsh with Frodo. I sound so nerdy that I just said all those things just now, but
the dead marshes.
Yeah, the dead marshes, and now he's like looking in the like the water, and he like falls in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what like that reminded me of. And it's like, ooh, that would be kind of creepy. But these are like just lights. Do you want to know the way that it says to ward off these lights? Do you want to take a guess? I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with beans or numbers.
A Patronus charm.
No, that would be good though. And by the way, my Patronus is, what is it? Oh my gosh, that's right. It's a hummingbird. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh. Hummingbird is a noble animal.
No, I was expecting you to laugh. So quick side story. My wife and I are dating at the time. We weren't married, and she went on like on a trip. So she was an event planner, so she traveled around lots of places in the world. She's been to like 6 of the 7 continents. She's been a lot of places. And but anyways, she was in the good old heartland, not heartland of the USA, but she was in Washington, I think. And we were like just getting to know each other. We had like been on like one date or something. But like she went on this trip and I was like, I called her to talk to her so we could like, because that's what cute people do when they're dating. So
Sure.
we were talking to each other and we decided to do like a Harry Potter like Patronus quiz. And yeah, that was, I felt so stupid and lame. I was like, oh my gosh, like it came out to be a hummingbird. I'm just like, oh goodness, like.
Did you tell her at the time, or were you like, I
No,
got this like gorilla as my Patronus, super manly?
I got a gorilla beating his chest as he rips off the head of an anaconda and ties it around his neck as a trophy. Like, no.
That's so funny.
No, I just said a hummingbird, but it didn't scare her away. So, anyways, coming back, yeah, the only way to ward off the light is to drive a knife into the ground or a gate post. I don't get it, but I mean,
Or a gate post.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's not
How
not.
often are people around a gate post, like when they're encountering these things?
I don't know. And driving a knife into the ground, like, isn't it like kind of like marshy? So wouldn't like I don't
I
know,
would guess so.
like be like get stuck in there and be like all muddy and weird, or I don't know.
It would steal your knife.
Yeah. So there is some kind of scientific explanation for this. So it says modern science attributes the faux fillet to a natural phenomenon known as bioluminescence. Excuse me, or most commonly the combustion of swamp gas. I just think of Shrek or something. So as organic matter, like plants and animals, decays in the anaerobic environment of the swamp, it releases gases like methane, phosphine, and diphosphane. These gases can spontaneously combust upon contact with air, creating small, flickering balls of light that appear to float and move erratically, perfectly mimicking a mischievous or ghostly guide. So yeah, I would be freaked out if I saw just a bunch of lights like that going around. I kind of want to see that. I should like look up a video or something to see if someone's been able to capture like this thing happening.
That would be crazy. Yeah. How big did you say the lights are? Did it say like,
Let me
is it a
see.
tiny like firefly size thing, or is it like a giant like
I don't
basketball
know.
size or bigger like type thing?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I have you ever seen anything like that before?
No.
Are you done with the topic, or did you have more to go on it?
Sorry, I was going to say if I could look up the size of it, but
Oh, you're
yeah,
good.
I'll look later. That's fine.
No, you're fine.
No,
Did
no,
you have
no. Yeah,
more to share
that's
about it though?
no, I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got on that one.
So, the only thing I've ever seen like that, I think I told this on the podcast fairly recently, was on my mission when I was on that island. One night, my companion and I went, our house was really close to the ocean on the back of the island, and so at night sometimes we just go like chill back there and sit out. And then our power went out. We had a generator on the island that like ran the whole electrical thing. It was just lights. There was nothing else electrical, but so every house had like one light, maybe two inside of it that was ran by a generator. But then that would shut off at 9 at night. So at 9 at night, it'd get pitch dark and you'd have the starlight and the moon. So like it once your eyes adjusted, it was pretty bright. But so we'd go outside and we'd just sit out there and chill for a little bit after the lights would go off. And one night we were out there and we're looking out into the ocean. It's like this is going north, so just out in the middle of the ocean. And we see this really bright, like bluish white light pretty close to the surface of the water.
Oh.
And it was It looked like it was maybe like 2 to 5 feet, like it was close to the top, like 2 to 5 feet underneath. And I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see like a shape. All I could see was just like a big glow. But it was kind of like moving around in like an erratic pattern.
Oh.
And then we watched it for like a few minutes, and then it just kind of went away.
Oh,
And I was like,
geez.
I wonder what that was, because as far as I know, nobody out there had technology to like allow them to dive underwater, especially at night, or like have that kind of stuff to do like that.
Oh,
Um,
dang.
but I'm like, that sounds kind of similar. I wonder if that was something
Yeah.
that would like drag us in the water and eat us.
Oh
I don't
my
know, but
gosh.
it wasn't like scary, but it was just kind of like, what is that? But we didn't feel like it was like malevolent or anything. It was weird.
The only time that I've seen something similar was because when I was at school in Hawaii for that like one semester, just off the beach, I saw like lights under the water, but I'm pretty sure it was people like scuba or something happening.
Hmm.
But like if you didn't see like anybody around, like yeah, that would be a little bit creepy.
It very well could have been. It was probably like 30 yards offshore, 20 to 30 yards. Like it was fairly close to us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I didn't see any like we waited. I mean, we were out there for like 30 minutes after that too, and it just kind of disappeared and we didn't like see anybody come on shore. We didn't see anybody surface, like just kind
Oh
of strange.
dang.
So, but I mean it very well could have been. It just kind of like faded into the water. It didn't really like swim away. I just remember it kind of like just going, like the light just kind of faded out type thing.
Oh, was it moving like fast or was it kind of slow or
Um,
was it like
I would say like it would probably be moving at the same speed of like somebody lazily swimming. So it wasn't going fast, like darting around. It was just kind of like floating, like moving like aimlessly around in the water.
oh, okay.
But like, yeah, not fast.
Dang,
For
that's
how
kind of
big
crazy.
it wasn't like fast or anything like that. So,
Yeah, I can't say that I've ever seen anything like that. I feel like I'm super lame. Like I don't have like any personal experiences with anything supernatural or anything. I'm kind of like happy in a sense because I don't know if I want to be freaked out like that. But you know, it could be kind of interesting and spice up your life a bit and have like a crazy story.
right. Yeah, sometimes they're fun, but also I feel like it comes with a new, at least mine came with like a new outlook on the world too. And so they're not inconsequential, you know?
Yeah.
And it definitely changed how I like view the world for sure. Like my negative experiences did.
Oh yeah. That's one thing. I know we need to move on to your topic. You know, I was thinking the other day. I was like, what is like the opposite of haunted? You know what I mean? Like
Unhaunted.
I know, you know, like why aren't there any legends of people like, oh, did you see that house over there? Yeah. Did you hear they had such a happy family? Like, oh my gosh, really?
They're so
Yeah.
spiritual.
So spiritual. Like, yeah, I hear if you go walk past, you can hear kids laughing and you just get this warm feeling. You're like, oh my gosh, no way.
Blessings just fly out and land in your lap.
Yeah,
It's
and they're like, "Oh, you know that if you get in the if you go in the backyard, I hear you can see the ghost of the dog, of the family dog, and he'll play fetch with you." Like,
well,
why? There's nothing like happy that's like supernatural, is there? I mean,
so Jack and I have talked about this a few times on the podcast where there have been some kind of like happy hauntings, I guess, where people have had like a good experience with the
happy
ghost.
hunting.
Like where like people, I don't remember any specific examples, but like examples where people will have kind of like a friendly ghost and they have like a good experience, or it ends well for them. You know, it's not like a scary thing, but it's like a usually I want to say usually it has something to do with like a family member that's passed, or like,
Yeah.
hey, my family member passed and they came and visited me like before they passed
Yeah.
on, or something like that, you know. And I'm like, I like those stories because ghosts are always portrayed as evil
I
or
know.
or like scary, but I'm like, there has to be, if there's the evil side, there has to be the good side too.
Yeah, wouldn't that make sense? That there's like the good side too?
My mom has like a very interesting connection with, I'll say, like the other side. She's always been like a very like spiritually connected person, in the sense that she has like feels the presence of like family members and stuff that have passed on.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the only connection I could ever make would be like on a religious level, but nothing. Yeah, like I've never heard of like a the unhaunted house, the happy
Yeah.
house. I don't know. Like,
Well, like my mom, when she was a kid, she uh she had this experience where her parents would like tuck her in at night, and then they would hear her talking to somebody in her room. And
oh,
so then they would go in and be like, "Who are you talking to?" And she'd be like, "It was the white-haired lady."
oh
And
no,
so my mom would get visited by this white-haired lady and talk to her, and she would just like laugh and giggle with her, and they'd talk about like her day, and she was always just really nice and kind. And then one day my mom saw a picture, and it was her great grandma, and she's like, "That's the white-haired lady." But I think she was probably 5, maybe 6. Um,
dude!
but she had
Wow.
like, but she had this experience multiple times where she conversed with the white-haired lady and had like a very positive thing. And she's had a lot of, I don't know if she's had that like profoundly direct of an experience since then, but she's had a lot of like experiences where she said she feels directly like the influence of like good spirits and stuff in her life. And I'm like, that's a great connection to have, I feel like.
Yeah,
It's just kind of cool.
a happy haunting.
Hmm. All right. Well, should we move on to the next topic? I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I
The
think it's you're
Grunch.
up. Oh, yeah,
The Grunch sounds
just the
like
name.
off-brand Grinch. I know.
It does. The name just gets me.
It sounds like it would be like a bad cereal, like Captain Grunch or something. You know.
Oh my god, Captain
Um,
Grunch.
that sounds so bad.
It also sounds like a body part. Like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh, I got punched in the grunch the other day.
like the slang for a body part. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
got kicked in the
Oh,
Grunch. Yeah.
oh my grunge is aching. I slept on my pillow wrong. Sorry, continue with the grunchening.
So the Grunch, or the Grunch Road Monster, is another cryptid from Louisiana that is more like a chupacabra type beast, which chupacabra, for all you gringos out there, means goat sucker. So the
Sorry,
chupacabra,
what?
you not
Goat
know that?
sucker?
So yeah, in Spanish, cabra is goat, and chupa means like suck. So
Chupa?
the
Oh
goat
yeah.
sucker is like the blood.
Oh,
You'd suck the goat's blood.
how did I
Um,
not know that that's what that meant? That is hilarious. Sorry, keep going.
so he's kind of like a chupacabra that is sighted frequently around New Orleans, and he's like a cross between like a canine type creature, and then like a chupacabra that's more like a reptilian type creature. So he kind of looks like he he looks like a weird Pokemon. He looks like a mix between like a sea creature and a dog and a lizard to me. That's the best way I can describe it. I'll post a picture of the Grunch when we release the show. And so the you want to know how he got his name? They just decided he was going to be called the Grunch one day. They just liked that name.
That's it.
Um,
Okay.
yep. And so he is seen on this road in New Orleans, like he haunts this section of roads, and supposedly his legend goes back to the 1700s, when New Orleans was founded in 1718 by the French Mississippi Company. And the guy who directed the founding of New Orleans is named Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne de Bienville or something. I don't know how to say it, but
Beautiful.
I feel like that was pretty close. And so they came and settled it in honor of the Duke of Orleans, who was like a prominent figure in France at the time. So back in this time, they were seeing this weird creature that would come in and kill all the livestock, and they were like, "This can't be happening because we need to eat." And so that's where the legend of the Grunch first started, and now he haunts this certain section of New Orleans. And still, the thing now is he'll like appear on the road and he'll like scare people into crashing their cars and then he'll like eat them.
Oh, dang.
So if you're in New Orleans and you see something in the road, maybe just if it's
Hit it.
maybe just speed up a little bit and run right through it.
Pedal to the metal. Do not stop.
Do not stop. The Grunch is gonna crunch you up.
Oh, that was great. I like that.
Did you like that? Yeah.
The Grunch Crunch.
The
Oh,
Grunch is
wait,
gonna
that could be
crunch
the
your
cereal
Grunch.
name. The Grunch Crunch.
Crunch.
I like that.
It sounds like it would be Grunch is like such a gross word that it sounds like the texture of that cereal. Like you'd want it to be crunchy, but then you're also getting like nasty soft bits in there too. That just
Oh.
like
Oh,
when
why
you're
would
eating
you
crunchy
say
food and
that?
you get when you're eating crunchy food and you get a soft bit, no. Or if you're eating soft food and you
Oh.
get a crunchy bit, it's bad. It's always bad. That's what Grunch Crunch would be. The ultimate bad mix of taste and texture.
It's like every other one is like a chewy and a soft, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh,
So some more legends about the Grunch tie into the voodoo history of New Orleans
oh,
and
nice,
Louisiana. So it was theorized that some of the early like slave traders and stuff that were doing voodoo were cursed and were made to be turned into these ugly beasts. And then now they roam around and suck people's blood and kill them and do all that fun stuff. So,
nice.
yeah.
They chupa
Wait,
some blood.
what was the first lady that you talked about? What was her name again?
Um,
Was it Marie
mm,
Laveau?
yes, yeah.
Okay. So there's an old voodoo hoodoo story that says that Marie
Oh,
Laveau castrated a devil baby when he was born to stop him
oh,
from producing more of his evil kind, and the
oh,
bloody testicles allegedly turned into a male and female Grunch upon falling to the floor,
oh
whereupon they attacked the great voodoo queen Marie Laveau.
my gosh.
So his balls are powerful. Or
Those babies'
it
balls
was the
dropped
devil
and then
baby's
just started to
nuts.
wreak havoc.
Yes. Yeah.
Satan's balls just.
This demon spawn was
Oh my
ripping it up even when he
gosh.
was a baby. Yeah, that's messed up. But yeah, Marie Laveau comes back into the mix with that one.
Oh wow, we didn't even know it tied in. That's funny.
Yeah, so that's the Grunch for you. Kind of an interesting one. I just like his name, and
I
he's fun. Grunch Crunch. We're gonna market that cereal though.
oh, can we make a T-shirt out of that? Crunch, crunch.
Or we'll make like Grunchitize Me Captain, and then
Oh, I
replace
love it.
Captain Crunch's face with the Grunch. Yes.
Dang. Okay. Are we
All
ready
right.
to move on?
Yeah. Why don't you take us down the home stretch here?
I know I've got kind of a long one, but I'm gonna speed it up just a bit. Okay, so this is the meat and potatoes. This one's got true crime mixed in with hauntings and stuff. So I'm gonna tell you a story about this lady named Madame Delphine Lalaurie. I probably sounded terrible.
Great.
So she was born in 1787. She belonged to like the elite Creole class in New Orleans. She was raised on this family plantation. Had a lot of wealthy relatives, the McCarty clan, and they had plantations and lots of slaves. So at 13 years old, she became involved in a scandalous affair with this guy named Ramon Lopez Angulo. Is that how you say the Y? Like in Spanish, like if there's just a Y?
Yeah, how's it spelled?
So it's Ramon Lopez, and then there's a Y, and then a space, and then Angulo,
Lopez
A-N-G.
y Angulo. Yeah, it'd just be
Yeah.
E. Lopez y
Okay.
Angulo.
So he was a 35-year-old widower. He's this Spanish guy. He was second in command to the Spanish governor. And so he's 35, she's 13. What's that rule? It's like, yeah, what's that? It's like
Don't
half
date
your
kids.
age.
I'm pretty sure that's the rule, right?
You know, that's a good one. It's half your age plus 7. So let's see. Half his age would have been what, 17, and yeah, he's well into creepy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
I could have told you that without the rule.
True, very true.
Sorry, go on.
I just can't imagine being like, oh yeah, I'm 13 years old and I'm just ready to get down with this 35-year-old Spaniard. Like, that's disgusting.
Right.
I was sitting there playing, Halo and whatever. I mean, obviously
I'd
she didn't have
imagine
Halo,
she didn't have a lot of choice in the matter,
So, anyways, so within 6 months they get married, and in 1805 they're traveling on a ship off the coast of Cuba when the ship ran aground, and then her husband, this Lauderie, her husband Ramon, just dies. I couldn't really find like the cause of death. It wasn't like, oh, he was impaled like on impact when the ship ran aground. He just dies. So I don't know how he died, but he dies. And what's tragic about this is that a few days later, she gives birth to their only child. So she's pregnant on the ship. And a couple days later, after her husband dies, she has their daughter. So now she's like this widow. She's going back to New Orleans with her daughter. And she ends up finding herself this Frenchman named Jean Blanc. I'm going to say Blanc. Probably Blanc. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. And so she marries this guy. He's a merchant, lawyer, banker, state legislator, political intriguer. I don't know what that is. And a major slave trader. So I don't know how he could possibly have all these professions, but he does.
I was with you right up until you said major slave trader.
I left the good one for last, right?
This guy's pretty cool. Wait a minute.
So they end up having 4 kids together. 8 years later, though, in 1815, this guy dies. We don't know why. Doesn't say why. But apparently he had like a ton of debts that he ended up leaving with his spouse, Lalaurie. At this time, she's not named Lalaurie yet, but we'll just call her Lalaurie. And he dies, leaves her with these debts, and then she's got 5 young children at this point. So she's however many years old, has 5 kids. 2 of her husbands have died. So she's not got the best luck. She's able to... Yeah, she's able to pay off her debts, though. She ends up getting some kind of inheritance from her father. It says along with some of her own shrewd business dealings. I don't know exactly what that is. But that ends up putting her back on some solid financial footings. She's, more stable. She's back on her feet. She ends up meeting this doctor named Louis Lalaurie. So this is where the Lalaurie comes from. So this Louis guy, he's a young doctor. He's only 22 years old. She's 38. At the time, so she's robbing the cradle now. She ends up getting, this guy Lewis, the doctor, he ends up telling his dad about this lady, and then Lewis ends up getting all these letters from his dad, and his dad's like, hey, you need to establish yourself in the medical profession. You should marry this rich girl. He's kind of referring to this Lalaurie, and then you come back home to France. And so it was kind of said about this doctor guy, Dr. Louis Lalaurie, that it says popular legend has characterized Lalaurie as an inconspicuous and colorless non-entity. I don't is that like a fancy way to just call somebody a nobody? I don't know. And then it says he's a meek, mousy little man, but apparently Lalaurie, the madam, the lady, she found him quite attractive. So they end up getting married. She's 38, he's 22. So it's like her third husband, but now she's got, she's got this doctor husband, she's got money, but things don't start looking good for them. There's some tension early on in the marriage. She says that he beats her in the most outrageous and cruel manner. And so it gets so bad that she ends up asking this judge to authorize her, and this quote is, to authorize her to live separately from her husband in the home she now occupies with her family. I don't really know what that means. I guess they're like, okay, you can live together, but you can't live like in the same space. I don't know. Kind of weird, but she goes to the judge, and the judge grants it to her. But this is where things get nasty. So up until this point, she's had a lot of husbands that have died, and she's kind of fallen hard times. But this is where it gets bad. So the same time that there's these rumors coming out that their marriage isn't good, there's other rumors that come out that she's been horribly mistreating her slaves. And this is where we're going to get to some heavy stuff here in a second. So there's this writer, Harriet Martineau. She's an English writer. She was visiting New Orleans in the mid-1830s, and she had recorded a couple rumors about Madame Lalaurie in this book. And one of the rumors was, or accounts was, she had this slave girl that was combing her hair. So Lalaurie, she's combing her hair, and she like hits a snag. Like I don't know if you like brushed your daughter's hair, or what I'm talking about, right? You hit a snag.
Yep.
And so she hits a snag, and Lalaurie, she gets so mad that she's like threatens to beat her. So she's like chasing her around the house with a whip.
Yikes.
And so they're on the roof of this house. It's like a 3-story, really nice house. It's a mansion. And she's chasing around, and the girl falls off the top of the house and dies. Yeah. So this incident ended up leading to an investigation where she was forced to forfeit the slaves, like ownership of 9 slaves. But so that was like good, like, okay, like, if she's mistreating these slaves, then it's good that they're safer. I know they're still slaves, but maybe not getting treated as poorly. But here's the crazy part. So Madame Lalaurie, she ends up persuading a relative to just buy back those slaves and to return them to her mansion so she can keep doing whatever she is doing to them. So it's pretty sad. So she was doing all this stuff, and there's all these rumors and stuff that's, like there's these bad things happening. So then it all kind of comes crashing down. In 1834, there's this fire that happens. So on April 10th, 1834, there's a fire that breaks out in the mansion's kitchen. And according to the published reports, the fire was set by this elderly cook. She was like 70 years old. She's an enslaved woman, and she was chained to the stove. And she ends up testifying later that she set fire to the house so that, because she set fire to the house as a suicide attempt because she was afraid that she'd be taken to the upper room for punishment. And let me find, like, what did she say? She says she claimed that anyone taken up to that room never came back. So she had like this real fear that, like, if she ended up going up there, that she's gonna die.
So might as well just end it in a way that's better than whatever they do up there.
Yeah. It's crazy. So when the rescuers ended up coming, they came over and they saw like the house is on fire. Like there's this judge guy that's there, and he's like, hey, like, and then Lalaurie's there, and so is her husband, and they're like, hey, you need to open up the attic because there's all these, other enslaved people that are in there. And they were like refusing to do it because you'll find out in a second. So this judge, he ends up ordering the doors to be broken down. And as soon as they break down the doors, because the house is still going up in flames, so there's still people trapped inside. So they end up finding 7 enslaved people, more or less horribly mutilated, They were starved, covered in scars, and found in positions of extreme bondage. Some were reportedly suspended by their necks and their bodies stretched. So yeah, it was not a good thing that was happening. And I tried to find anything that kind of explained like, like why did she do it? And I couldn't really find anything. It's pretty sad, but so an angry mob ends up descending upon the mansion because the authorities for some reason didn't like arrest them like on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And so a mob ends up coming to the mansion. They destroy it, but Madame Lalaurie and her husband, they're able to escape because someone comes to the rescue. It's one of their other slaves comes in like a coach, like a horse and carriage, and they end up running away and end up making it to Paris. So that's kind of like the story of the real things that happened. Like, so she really did torture those people and did all those terrible things. There are some people said that they're like stretched bodies, surgical experiments. I read other things that there's this guy that had like a hole in his head with like maggots coming out of it.
Oh,
it was like super bad.
That's rough.
So I don't know what her deal was, but the haunting bit of it, people since then have said the mansion has been considered one of the most intensely haunted buildings in America, with reports of screams, chains rattling, and apparitions of the tortured victims, and even Madame Lalaurie herself. The history is like, corroborated fact, but like the supernatural is like kind of a legend. But I have like one fun fact. So apparently Nicolas Cage, the actor, he bought the house in 2007.
Really?
Yeah. So he bought the house in 2007, but it was like bad luck. It was like known that it was like a haunted house, but he ended up losing it in a foreclosure just 2 years later.
Did he say why he wanted to buy it?
I think he just wanted to own the most like haunted house in America or something like that.
That's crazy. That dude seems pretty crazy though. So
yeah. The last bit of this talks about more of like the haunting. This is a story that I had heard on another podcast. I don't remember the name of it, but it comes from like this Reddit post of a lady that ended up working at the house like years and years later. I'll try and go through this quickly. So it says, a few years ago, I was going through a rough patch financially. I was looking for just about any job that would pay decent and had flexible hours. I used to work as a housekeeper, and quite honestly was something I was hoping would come up as a job opportunity. At the time, I was living in Vacherie, Louisiana, which was kind of far from the major hustle and bustle in Louisiana. So she had a friend that told her about this small housekeeping job, or her boss had mentioned they're looking for someone just to come in a couple times a week to clean the first and second floors of the house that was located in downtown New Orleans. So she ended up going to the house. She's like, it's this huge, beautiful French home, literally in the heart of New Orleans. And she got the job. She's like, the first day was like, nothing. It's just like work. She's like, I was there to do what I was supposed to do. And then she's like, when I got ready to leave, I got a whiff of this horrible stench. She's like, almost like burnt, rotten meat. And she thought to herself, shiz, did I forget to take out the trash? So she goes to the trash, to the kitchen, and she's like, okay, the smell went away. She kept checking, but couldn't find the smell. And so she ends up leaving. The next day, she was in the second floor, like dusting off the parlor area, when she heard chains being dragged on the floor. At first, like, it startles her. She brushed it off as like, oh, it's just someone outside. But then she kept hearing it again and again. She's like, okay, it's definitely coming from inside the house. So she ran as fast as she could downstairs to tell the other housekeeper that someone else is like maybe there. She's like, there's only 2 of us there that day. And the other housekeeper just looked at her and told her to like mind her own business and keep working, that it was like nothing. So she's like, it was kind of like a mean lady, but she like shrugged it off and went back upstairs. And then she gets that rotten stench again. She's like, it was very annoying because it just went like that and it randomly came and went. Some days you'd smell it downstairs, others upstairs. And then later in the day, when she's in the bathroom, she heard this huge commotion upstairs in the third floor, what sounded like a young girl screaming and a woman chasing her after her to get in here. And she's like, what? So she opens the door, runs upstairs, and then like it stops. So the yelling, the screaming, and everything, it just like stopped. So she goes back downstairs, and then she's like frustrated, and she's like told the other housekeeper what she heard, and she's like, hey, you never hear anything, okay? It's best if you just go on and act like you don't like notice anything. And then she's like, I promise you that there's no one there and you're fine. So this person ends up working there for just like a month, and that's like all she could take. She keeps hearing the yelling, the screaming, the chasing, the chains dropping to the floor. And then the thing that like really put her over the edge, like she was on a lunch break and she heard a sudden cry of agony and despair, followed by a sound of chains that seemed to be coming from the third floor. She panicked, thinking someone was hurt and needed help, and so she was getting to go up, and she saw a tall, dark man with chains around his neck. And just like that, she's like, I ran out of the house as quick as possible. She's like, I never even had no intentions of returning and going back to work. She's like, I just stopped showing up. And to round this out, 4 years later, she had like moved away from Louisiana, but she had returned to New Orleans with her boyfriend on vacation. And they end up doing one of these spooky ghost story tours. I don't know if you've ever done that.
Mm-hmm.
So she does that, and lo and behold, they end up going back to that where she ended up working, which ended up being the infamous Lalaurie Mansion. She had no idea that that's where she was working, and that there's like all this history and stuff. So yeah, when I was reading this, I was like, holy crap, like this lady has no idea what's happening, and like all the things that she like said she heard, like the girl screaming was probably like the girl that she like chased, with the whip and everything. So that one, I'm like, I never want to go. Like, it'd be kind of cool to see that place, but you couldn't pay me to go inside there, and you can't actually. It's not a place that you're like allowed to like go visit. You can see the outside of it, but it's privately owned. Although I think recently someone has purchased it, but yeah. So that's the story of Madame Lalaurie. Like, there's like the true crime, like terrible things that happen, and then the equally scary haunting that's happening there. So kind of a heavy one. The other ones we've done were kind of like funny and stuff, but this one was like true and in some senses and just really sad.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough. But yeah, I think there is something to, like, I don't know what it is, like bad energy like sticking to a place like that for a long time and causing like long lasting haunting there. I've always wondered like what causes something to stick, in a place like that versus not. Because like bad stuff happens all over the world, maybe not to that extent, but like what causes some place to get haunted like versus another place,
I don't know. I can just like imagine just like so many bad things happen there. Like, no, she like Madame Lalaurie never, like, she ended up going to Paris and like dying there, and never got an explanation of why or like what extent the crimes were, like how many people died there. Like, you just don't even know. So it's
dang. Could be so many more then.
Yeah, it could be a lot more. I thought I saw something about like there were a certain number of documented slaves, and they were documented really well apparently, because people really wanted to know, like, I know it's terrible, they're treated as property. So there was like a lot of unaccounted slaves that like kind of came from that house. So it's likely that a lot of them had died in some other ways. So
dang,
super sad. So, sorry to bring down the energy here. That was a rough one.
Oh, you're good. You're totally fine. That's interesting though. I think we've talked about a lot of different like haunted houses or like murder houses and stuff. It's crazy how many places like that are actually out there.
Ugh.
Like, it just makes you wonder.
There's a part of me that like wants to visit to see what it's about, but another part of me that's like, the second that I entered there and the lights are off, I am peeing my pants and just like, Yeah.
That's one. I mean, maybe back in the day you could have gotten me to go there, but now, like,
Back in our
no.
heyday when we visited abandoned houses and went to cemeteries. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Back in that day, for sure, I would have gone. I still would have been scared to piss, but like, I don't think I'd go anymore, especially somewhere maybe like if it's somewhere that's like, oh, this one building is haunted, like an old like a legend of like an old man burned in the fire there 50 years ago or whatever. But this one where it's like historically verified and I know
Yeah.
there's like so much like generational trauma in that house, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah. It's a bit different.
That's a
Anyway,
wild one.
there you have it.
Well, thanks, man. That was a good time. We're excited to keep the podcast going with Dan now as an official member of the crew. So welcome, Daniel, and
Thanks.
give him all your love and support, guys, and let us know what you want to hear on the podcast. If there's any topics that you guys want us to cover, or if you have any stories and you want to come on and tell them, reach out and let us know. Hit us up on the social media. Uh, Daniel, that means social media. If you didn't
Oh,
catch
thank
that,
you.
that's
I know I'm a
we
bit of
uh
a boomer, so I appreciate the
we
clarification.
we coined that term. It's very new age, I know, so I thought I'd tell you what it meant. But
Surprised it
uh,
hasn't blown up yet.
I know, yeah. People are gonna be Xing about it like so much after this episode.
Wait, do people say Xing?
I don't know. They do now. We
They
coined that
should.
too. Elon, throw us some coin, man. We're helping you out. But yeah, thanks guys. We love you, and we're excited to have Dan on the pod. So
Thanks. Good to be
hopefully,
here.
hopefully we'll keep this rolling. And yeah, have a good night. Thanks everybody.
We'll see ya.